Isn't it nice having all these Daedric artifacts over our adventures? I mean, seriously, you doubt us, but this place is honestly just a museum at this point. I mean, if you ask me, it's kind of getting crowded. I mean, seriously, though, I would much prefer doing actual detective work. Venturing is adventuring. All the fun. Besides, what kind of detective work could we possibly have? Liao? Liao? Letter for Liao? Huh? Who's that? I left your mail at the doorstep. Thank you, neighbor. Huh. What's this? A note from Uncle Crassius. Okay, I guess I'll have to read this. Dear Liel Roz, oh, it has been so long since we last met, Pumpkin, and I mean, I have longed to meet with you once again. Please, I need you here. There's some strange things going on in House Hlaalu, and I feel like you can come to my mansion and we could discuss many things. Please bring that belt you look oh so nicely in as well. XOXO, Uncle Crassius. This creep again. Enough is enough. You gotta retire. Silly prostrel. Don't you know? Let's see where the road takes us this time. Sora, help me. Bored already.
Greetings, honored friend. You need not be afraid. My anger is reserved for the foolish.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome, Albert.
Well met. What is it, traveler? What do you seek?
Go ahead, Albert. What do you need? I will listen, Albert, but make it quick. I will listen, but make it quick.
How should this universe find?
Is there something I can do for you?
Greetings and salutations. What brings you here, Kajit? You need not be afraid. Well, only fools are angry.
What's up, Frosty Bros? Welcome back to Retirement Optional, and today we have to, well, wrap things up with House Hlaalu, because we never really quite finished it on our great journeys when we were to face off Dagoth. So we still have some unfinished business, if you will. Can't jump. Oh well. Yeah, honestly, I feel like we should have had it over and done with, but of course, the creepy uncle would always just pull us back in. Honestly, how many letters has he sent? Probably just the one. I wouldn't go too overboard on it. You're right, Liel. Probably just getting paranoid. Because, I mean, it is Uncle Crassius we're talking about. I mean, have you heard of what he's done? Oh, I read what he has done. Leo, don't mention. Oh, come on. You don't mean to tell me you didn't enjoy reading The Lusty Argonian Maid? You don't need to mention that. Oh, please. Anyways, we're just going to have to go ahead and see what old Courier wants. Yeah. He probably needs us to do some dirty work. You know, perhaps that would actually sound a lot better if we had some actual good context. Knowing him, Oh, Pumpkin! Oh, Pumpkin, where's your belt? Why are you wearing all that cumbersome clothes? Uh, Formal greetings, and for the belt, it was lost in a fire. Oh, what a tragedy. Well, anyways, if you would have a word, we should discuss some business. You see, you need to speak with Hodor, with Odril Helvi in a caldera. Turn your charms on him, sweetie, and talk about business. If you feel his request is questionable, speak with me for further directions. Keep your Uncle Crassius well informed, and I'll reward you. Whoa, 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 what's this deal with Odril? You sound nervous. Let's just say he's not exactly the, well, how do I put this? The in business code type. More of the side hustle kind of guy. But of course, I can't really lock him away, so my hands are tied. I'm sorry. I have to ask this of you, Pumpkin, but hey, you're just the best kind of informant I can have. I know I can trust you. Hmm, very well. We'll do it. Oh, Pumpkin, you make me so happy I could kiss you. Nope, nope, not doing that. Alright, let's make our way to Caldera. Alright, and we should be dropping into Caldera now. Perhaps we should ask the local people where Odril is. Hey, would you happen to know where Odril would be? Oh, him? Yes, you would find him up in well, you'd find him up in that castle right there. Thank you. Alright, let's go speak with Odril. I'm sure this guy is gonna be totally not shady whatsoever, and we're totally not going to have to put our detective hat on. We're totally not going to. Yeah, I know what you want to do. As I entered the door and approached the desk man, I asked him where Odril was, and I could already tell that the business was quite shady, for Odril wasn't even here currently. He is upstairs in his room. How suspicious that he would be upstairs and in his room rather than down here to greet the new arrival. It's almost like he's trying to hide something. So I looked upstairs to try and find him, scouring every single door till I saw him standing there. My name is Otril Helvey. I help keep the mines running and make sure business goes smoothly. What could he possibly mean by business? Is it actual business with House Hlaalu, like actually running a mine? Or could it be a secret drug dealing? Could he actually be a skooma dealer? I'll have to get to the bottom of this. What kind of business you run? Well, I need a courier to deliver a package of sealed orders. Sealed orders? That sounds very suspicious. Sounds a lot like it could be some sort of sealed package of possibly even skooma. Yes, take these sealed orders to Hlaalu Treasury in Vivek. Deliver them to Tennessee Laundry, the assistant clerk. Whatever you do, do not deliver them to the head of the Treasury, Baron Allen, or to anyone else. This is a trivial matter. I do insist it's trivial, and you don't have to trouble anyone but the assistant clerk. He seemed quite heavy on the knot, almost as though he was worried of something, almost as though he was worried that I could possibly rat him out for being a skooma dealer of some kind, or even if not that, someone who does delve into legal business, such as trading ebony or Dwemer artifacts without imperial proper inspection policies or any form of, well, pamphlets to actually deliver and trade ebony and Dwemer artifacts. So, Leo then set out to do the only sensible thing. He went back to Vivek. As Liel approached the Hlaalu canton, he found himself at almost a crossroads. He could go and do as he was asked, and immediately deliver it to the Hlaalu treasury to the assistant clerk. Or, though grudgingly, he could show Crassius Curio, the package, and what possible illegal activities he could be up to at least inform him. Though he didn't like the idea of confronting him after what had happened the last time. But despite that, he built up his courage and decided to go drop the information. Gracias, Curio. Oh, Pumpkin, you're back for your kiss. No kissing. I have information. Come on in. Information for a kiss. No. Fine. Information for no kiss. Better. Now, let's talk about the whole business aspect, shall we? And what he's doing. Speak with all. Okay. Is there any way to... Well, you see, there's something suspicious going on. I was handed a sealed package. These sealed orders. So he asked you to deliver orders to Tennessee Laundry instead of Baron Allen, the treasury clerk? This is interesting. Give the orders to me instead, Pudding, and I will take care of everything. Here you go. Good, good. Now we have some proof of Ordrol's corruption, but it takes time for the wheels of the law to turn. I'll make sure these orders are edited, sealed, and delivered to Tennessee Laundry. For being such a sweetie and keeping me informed, why not take this gift of 500 drakes? By the way, yourself buy something pretty for your Uncle Crassius, like maybe another belt. Well, anyways, do we have more business? Speak with Odril again. He may have more business. There may be more to this puzzle than what meets the eye. Leo at first thought that maybe the sealed orders would solve it all, that it would be an open and shut case, the smoking gun, to prove once and for all exactly what Ordrol is doing. But alas, one note is not enough to put someone away for good. He had to go back to gather more information. He had to also lie about what he has just done. He has to put on a persona now in order to fool Ordrol into believing that there's not a rat amongst them. As Leo reapproached the castle, dread fell over him as he knew he would have to be more careful, because before he was a stranger, but now he's a friend. If he's fingered as a rat, well, it wouldn't be good to be fingered as anyone, especially a rat. Especially by Uncle Crassius, let alone Orville Drin. Ordril. What's his last name?
I am
Helvey.
at your service, Outlander.
Did you deliver the sealed orders like I asked for? Oh, the sealed orders? You delivered the orders? Good. I have more business to discuss with you. He believed our story, believed that we didn't deliver it to Uncle Crassius. He believed it, and so he trusts us. Trusts us for more business. Sketchy business? We'll see. Important documents are missing from the offices here in Caldera. I need someone to catch whoever stole the Caldera mining contracts. Caldera mining contracts stolen? How convenient. Perhaps this guy we're talking to could be behind it, but let's dig further. Someone stole some of our mining contracts, which were written on a scroll. There have been too many thefts recently for it to be an outsider. I believe someone in town is the thief. Find the thief and return the mining contracts to me. So we must find a thief for the Caldera mining contracts. Well, that's fresh coming from what we assume might be a thief anyways. Or perhaps just a criminal of some kind in any way, shape, or form. Who knows? Maybe that note was even just a writ for someone to be allowed to execute someone else, just like how the Morag Tong handles their business. But alas, all we know is that we're in sketchy business now. I asked around to see if anyone knew about the orders, the mining contracts. The thefts began not long ago. Talk with Urgala and El Musa Damori. So we must talk to two people then. Urgola and El Musa Damori. Urgola is just a pawnbroker. He hasn't been in Caldera for very long, so it would be difficult for it to really be him. However, El Musa Damori, on the other hand, she lives in the last house on the right if you're coming in from the southern gate. So she lives in Caldera, which is a bit different than being new here. And from what we've heard so far, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Then perhaps we should go to the southern gate, and from what I was told, so it's all the contracts. He lives on the last house on the right. Last house on the right, so this here would be the first house. The last house on the right would be if you were coming in from the southern gate. What kind of sense of directions are these? These make my head spin. The sheer directions of trying to figure out where this one person would live was honestly quite confusing. Soliel decided to ask a guard. I can't say I know her well. She is not very sociable. Then it was our only chance to just look around randomly, and when we did, we immediately found it. A door marked Almasa de Mori's house. So we entered. And as we walked up the stairs, we were suddenly met with the very woman herself. She reeked of thievery. We knew we had to confront her. Excuse me, Sarah. She was nervous. But, well, you're the Nerevarine. but because we were famous. What do you know of the Caldera mining contracts? Yes, I stole them. Footpad. Guild business. If you turn me in, you'll lose standing with the guild. The documents are in that chest on my windowsill. Here's the key. Tell Ordrel that you just found the documents lying around. That fool, that fool will believe anything if you flatter him enough. We gain Abidal, the Abibal slave key. How strange that we would gain a slave key to look for a chest, to look through a chest. Of course, it wouldn't unlock the closet, but it would unlock a chest full of gold, though there was no mining contracts there. Just money. Whenever we grabbed the money in front of the very Thieves Guild operative, she would get mad at us, but she wouldn't report us since, well, we're just a fellow thief doing our thing. But of course, we looked in the chest on the windowsill and found the mining contract. Now it was time to hand this in, and it was time to yet again tell another lie, a deceitful one, just so we could gain trust and probe deeper into unraveling this mystery behind whatever scumbag Ordrol truly is. What could he possibly be? Leo thought to himself. Could he be a scuba dealer? What did you just say? Nothing. Anyways, we approached him, walking back up the stairs, contract in hand, shaking as we got ready to tell him a lie. Hey, Ordrel, we found the Caldera mining contracts. I see. You found the missing contracts. Where did you find them? Well, we found them lying about. That is very disappointing. I suppose the thief must be outside Caldera. Well, take these 500 drakes for your efforts. Of course, we had to probe deeper, so we had to find out if there was more business ahead. There is an error in some of the the documents in the Hall of Records. I need someone to replace these erroneous documents. Erroneous documents? Now that's suspicious. I have discovered a serious error in some of the land deeds of the Ascadian Isles. I want you to take this land deed to the Hlaalu records in Vivec. Look for a chest of land deeds for the Ascadian Isles. Put this scroll in the chest and bring the old land deed. Bring the old land deed to this guy, also putting a new land deed in the Hlaalu records. Now that just screams suspicious on so many levels. How do we know this land deed isn't meant to just give Ordrel all sorts of land while also taking someone else's property? Perhaps that's exactly what he's trying to do. Perhaps he's trying to scam people. But of course, being the rats that we are, we're about to expose him and get rid of him, possibly forever. For we now found out what truly a scumbag Ordrel truly is. He is a land thief. That is his business. He desires nothing more than to steal other people's lands, possibly even making them rent the places out, raising the rent over and over again. A corrupt landlord. That could be the very kind of evil Ordrel truly is. Though, of course, this is mere speculation, for if we were to read this record, we would probably get in trouble with Ordril, and he'd probably stop doing business with us. So, of course, we were going to do the only sensible thing. Approach Crassius Curio, yet again, to give these land records over. But of course, Leo Raz was not liking this idea in the slightest. I just hope he doesn't have us take our clothes off again. Neither was Froz. I hope he doesn't make us kiss him again. But of course, necessary evils have to be done. Oh, Pumpkin! It's a pleasure to see you again. Is there anything you want to, well, speak with me about? Ordril has some erroneous documents problems. Hang on a minute. Give me the old land deed pudding, and Uncle Crassius will take care of everything. Here you go. Don't trouble your sweet little head over this any more. If you don't have the original land deed, you'll still need to fetch that for Ordril. When you speak with him again, turn your irresistible charms on him some more. Ooh, don't let him suspect a thing, and take this little present from me. Wouldn't want anything to happen to you. He handed us an amulet of domination. Knowing Uncle Crassius and the stuff he gets up to, well, let's just say we liked touching this thing only with a very thick napkin to not stain our hands with whatever Uncle Crassius has upon it, doused around it. But now it was time for us to steal from our very own house, to take a land deed from our own records. Such a thing would be treasonous. But of course, necessary evils have to be done. We couldn't find the records on the first level, the top level. So we headed downstairs through the Elven Nation's Council Club, heading down, or Corner Club, mind you, heading downwards so we could eventually find wherever these records would be. We scoured the endless halls of Vex City, scouring endlessly, looking for the treasury which stood before us. As we entered, we noticed there was prison cells, but when we probed deeper, we eventually saw the vaults. Then eventually, as we probed even deeper, we found the records. We entered the records room. We were greeted by some Dunmer who were looking at us quite suspiciously. Honestly, very understandable, especially for what we were about to do. We readied ourselves, and as we stood there, we decided to play our little tricks in order to deceive our audience. Crouched down and got ready. Now you see me. Now you don't. Ha ha ha. We managed to take the land. Hang on. Let's see. No bounty. Okay. We managed to take the land deeds without any bounty. But of course, the women downstairs were quite mad at us, throwing fists and knuckles. But the Dunmer outside were a little more forgiving, for they didn't know that we had the land deed in our hands, that we had the land deeds in our possession, and that what we've just done was basically betray Council Hlaalu, House Hlaalu, our house. But of course, this was all just to put away one scumbag who was actually damaging our house. And so we headed back to Caldera. We re-entered Caldera, and we approached the ever gloomy castle that simply glistened in the night sky. Mostly glistening because of our night eye, but glistening nonetheless. We decided to parkour over the desk this time, just for comedic effect, as we headed up the stairs to confront Ordril yet again. Tell me, did you replace the Aranis documents? Well, have you done as I asked for? Do you have the old land deed, and is the new one in place? Yes, I have. This was a lie, but he was none the wiser. I will take your word. For all he did was take my word that you put the deed in the right place, despite the fact that we didn't. This is the Aranis document. This is the Aranis deed, which I will dispose of personally. Take these scrolls for your troubles. He gives us a bunch of scrolls that we will probably never use, and then we asked if there was more business to be done. I am responsible for land in the Ascadian Isles, and at this time of year I need to collect the rent and taxes from the farmers. After this whole time, we finally placed the pieces together and realized that we figured it out before it even happened. He was indeed a greedy scumbag, renting out all the lands of everyone else so he could collect rent and taxes. The two farmers I want you to speak with are Manit Varnan Ada and Loivin Andis. Get 50 drakes from them and return to me. If they refuse to pay, kill them to set an example for the others. Greedy and murderous, his despicableness knew no bounds. What are you monologuing to yourself? And then it was at this point that we realized he was slightly onto us, so we decided to cut the tension by simply asking about the two people we had to collect deeds from. Yes, the one of the farmers I want you to get rent and taxes from, his farm is west of the Drin Plantation, and as for the other one, I think his name was Manitz. Yes, that's the one of the farmers that I want you to find. He lives just east of Arville Plantation. So Drin Plantation and Arville Plantation. As long as you remember those, then you'll get it. Yes, you know. And so we headed out. But of course, as we've been doing so far, we must continue to do so. We had to head over to Crassius Curio to let him know what is going on, so it is not too late. And there we were, approaching Crassius Curio yet again to turn in the information. Surely at this point he would stop trying to catch on to us and would be more and more furious at what Ordril is doing to his beautiful house. Alright, tell me he's not doing something stupid again. Well, there's this thing with rent and taxes. Oh, a few drakes is nothing to one as worldly as you or I, Dumpling. The farmers may not have 5 drakes to spare, much less 50, and I suspect Ordrel merely wants them killed. Here, take these 500 drakes for keeping me informed, and pay the rent yourself. Don't risk your succulent skin trying to find the farmers. We were wrong about him no longer wanting to come on to us. Now he was aggressively coming on to us. We were not sure on what to think of this, for it probably meant that he may even resort to, well, more physical matters. But that aside, in fear of Crassius Curio breaking out of those doors in a violent rampage, we are just going to head on back to Caldera to turn in the taxes we have collected. Yet another lie in a rat scheme to expose Ordrel. Keep wanting to call him Drin for the hatred Drin has inflicted upon my people. But if he has another last name, what is it? Helvey. I keep forgetting Helvey. I must write it down. We once again approach the castle. Of course, the whole concept of us collecting the rent and taxes was easily handled by our pretty much literal sugar daddy, though I guess it would have been more of a sugar uncle. But jokes aside and puns aside, it is time to be a rat with Odril once again. Odril Helvey. So we spoke about the taxes and rent. Do you have the 100 drakes from Manat in Leuven? Yes, they're here. I must admit, I did not think you could actually get the rent. They are ours. Well, then, shall we discuss other business? Things were getting a little on the suspicious side. Things were about to get a little crazier. I need you to deliver a shipment of ebony to a friend of mine. A shipment of ebony? Without any form of proper papers? Oh, this was a smoking gun. The smoking gun we were looking for the whole time. Yes, take these 5 pieces of raw ebony to Drinar Vorin in Aldrun. He will deliver them to friends of mine on the mainland. Do not speak of this to anyone. Aldrun just so happens to be where the great House Redoran, a competitor of House Hlaalu, sits. Therefore, the ebony we are to deliver is of a competitor, is to go to a competitor. That would not slide with House Hlaalu. And secondly, delivering ebony around Svardenfell all willy-nilly without the proper papers is also quite illegal. That would not slide with House Hlaalu. Also, keeping secrets from House Hlaalu is, well, pretty bad business. Does not slide with House Hlaalu. We had the smoking gun we were looking for. All we had to do was approach Crassius Curio. As we approached Curio Manor, we felt almost relieved, as though we could almost feel that it was over. Surely this would be the smoking gun we needed all along. Surely this would be enough to end this madness once and for all. Wait, Pumpkin, did you? Oh my god. Ordrel asked you to deliver a shipment of ebony? We, of course, spilled the beans. Oh, oh, this is the last of the evidence we needed. Oh, instead of delivering the ebony to Durirnar Vorian, take it to Segonvis Mentidus at the Fort Buckmoth near Aldroon. I bet if you turn your charms on Segninvus, he will have Ordrol Helvi and Drirnar Vorian arrested for this. You hear that, Pumpkin? Arrested. We've won. Oh, Pumpkin, I'm so happy I could kiss you. Nope, none of that. Oh, very well, Pumpkin. I suppose it was good talk. We will speak later. We were finally able to escape the clutches of Uncle Crassius. We now had to go to Old Rune, but our plans were changed. We are now to deliver our ebony to not where Ordril told us to go, but instead to Saganovis in Fort Buckmoth. So we headed outwards to Aldroon. We made it into Aldroon. The night sky gloomed overhead, creating perfect coverage, so that way Ordril's informants wouldn't notice that we were not only in town, but that we slipped away outside of town. Of course, there was someone on the road, and just to not be too safe, in case it were a dreamer, or even just an informant of Ordril, he had to be put to death. He called us a slur as he told us to die, but alas, those were his two and only words we've ever heard from him. And those two words were his dying breaths. A swift kill in Liel's ways. But alas, we approached Fort Buckmoth. The walls gloomed overhead, towering, just like the cliff racer flying around rapidly, aggressively, asking to be shot at, as it was hiding perfectly behind some rocks, but not hiding well enough for Liel's perfect shots. And as we looped around the massive walls, we eventually found an opening and decided to head inwards. We headed into the very fort interior to look for Segonovus, and that's where we found him. He looked similar, like an old friend, a very familiar friend. We decided to talk about the shipment of ebony. Ebony? Why do you have ebony? Are you a licensed trader? We had to tell the truth that Ordril ordered me to deliver it. Ordril Helvi ordered you to deliver the ebony to whom? We told him about his informant, Durirnar, in Aldroon. Give me the ebony, and I will investigate Durirnar Vorian and Ordril Helvi. If what you say is true, I will have them both arrested. We handed over the ebony, and this was all over in an instant. This matter is now out of your hands. I will send men to investigate Ordril Helvi and Durirnar Vorian. If they can confirm your story, I will have both of them arrested. Of course, despite this all being over, we still had to give the good news to Crassius that it was in fact over. We didn't exactly liked the idea of it, but alas, we had to. So we headed back to Vivek one last time. As we approached, we felt a pleasing aura wash over us as we knew it was over. Our detective work was finally finished. Ah, how satisfying. Nothing could possibly ruin this. Oh, Pumpkin, I'm so happy that you're... Okay, I lied. There's things that could ruin this. Oh, sorry, Pumpkin, did I ruin a moment? Anyways, tell me, Ordrel asked you to deliver a shipment of ebony. What happened? Well, this happened. You did well, my little pudding pie. Ordrel Helvey is now on a prison ship, the same situation you found yourself in when you first came. Huh. Take these little rings, sweetie. They'll look good on you. He gave us some rings. How nice. Yeah, real nice. Okay, so we're just going to... Oh, man, these things... what is he... That's a lot of chameleon, but still. These rings, we got better rings on anyways. Yeah, glad this is all over. I mean, it was nice though. You know what would make it a lot better? Liel. And I mean something that would make it a lot better. Liel, if we were to go on an actual Liel adventure, we really need to retire.